Hello there, my beautiful Libra signs. This is Rachael with Dark Knight Coaching. So today's tarot reading is a Celtic cross spread that I pull. I sometimes get clarifier cards that come flying out, but today I didn't have like a ton of extra energy. That's kind of how I view those cards for you. It was pretty clear messages. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry, something with your throat chakra might be important, or speaking your truth, because I didn't have any problems talking until I got on to record your thing. So the song that I was guided to listen to was called Silver Spoons by Aaron LeCount. It was kind of like a demo version on YouTube. You could find it. It was basically about like how sometimes when we're drawn to partners, if they've not had to work for where they are, if they've just had everything handed to them, sometimes they can live in a grandiose state of like kind of a narcissistic tendency of feeling entitled to things that are not theirs. So like if someone's grown up with a silver spoon in their mouth and they feel like they're special, they might just take what they want instead of actually earning it or achieving it in a way that is basically based on appreciation or acknowledgement and validation of someone's efforts. So it's hard to relate or find friendships in those types of people who are not like-minded or haven't been through similar situations. Now, I'm not saying that you can't still be with them and connect with them, but it makes it more challenging because if you're someone who's had to work from the ground up in order to build something for yourself, then it's really hard to relate to those with like old money, basically. Now, this could be tied to love. Maybe you're attracted to somebody like that and they don't really appreciate you or your value or what you bring to the table. And, you know, that sort of healing or that sort of commitment is going to be a test for what your worth is, how you see yourself, how you value yourself. Because if you stay with someone who doesn't appreciate you and doesn't value you, then you typically have a low sense of self-worth, or you're battling some sort of insecurity there. Now, the current energy that I have for you here, Libra, is strength. So there's something about persevering during this time, or something about Leo energy that might be significant. Something to do with August also might be significant because I was getting like the eighth month. Now, the challenge here that's crossing you is this 10 of Pentacles energy. Maybe you want to have your cake and eat it too. Maybe you're really trying to like make it work with someone, or you're really wanting this like family legacy, this fulfillment, but it's slow moving. This is going to be a very slow moving energy because the foundation of this is the Knight of Pentacles. So there's a slow moving offer or opportunity coming in, but I do feel like you've mostly been in a healing state anyways. And it's because you've been through a lot of trauma and a lot of drama and a lot of toxicity in the past. You're this wounded warrior. This is Sagittarian energy with the Nine of Wands. But in your subconscious, it's like you're healing from this. You have the Four of Swords. This is a card of healing, contemplation, self-awareness, introspection, accountability. It's a very positive card. And then also in your current energy, you have a card of being like very calculating. The King of Swords is kind of like a cold, calculating energy. It can maybe come off as a little bit callous, but that's okay because you have to do what's best for you and whatever is going to help guide you to your highest best self. And I feel like you know that because the High Priestess card is here. So you're really tapping into this like divine energy, this inner knowing. And, you know, we all have feminine and masculine energy. So take this as it resonates, but it's, you know, it's fluid. So this High Priestess energy is that divine knowing, that inner guidance, maybe even tapping into some of your clair abilities, claircognizance, clairvoyance, transience. There's so many different clairs. And if you're not sure about the clairs or how to tap into those, make sure you go check out my videos on my page where I talk about clairs, which are like your supernatural gifts or witchy gifts, however you want to think about that. But the advice from Spirit and your guides here is the Six of Pentacles energy. So make sure, even though you're being maybe very calculated, make sure you're still coming at things with an open heart or an open mind, because that's going to bring you positive karma the Six of Pentacles is a Libra card. It's about balance and harmony. Sometimes it's hard to do when we're in a state of like fight or flight to remain open-minded or kind-hearted. And people see you as maybe a bit chaotic or conflicted because the Five of Wands is in your energy here. So maybe people think that you're being confrontational to be confrontational, but I don't feel like that's your energy, Libra, because that's just generally not Libra energy. It's more of like you're trying to adjust the scales of balance, and sometimes when you do that, you might put a little bit too much weight on something than needed, and it like tips the scales a little bit further than you'd like, but it's because you're learning, like you're still adjusting. What do they call that when you're like tarring the scales? That's kind of the energy, the vibe, the visual that I'm getting here. It's like you're trying to find this new balance, this new harmony, but you are the wounded warrior. You've been through trauma, so it's going to take some practice emotionally and situationally for you to really hone in on that skill, because it's basically a skill of managing your emotions, managing your reactions, managing how you respond to someone. It is going to take time, and you might have your defenses up, justifiably so. Now, the Lover's card is in your fears and hopes. This is Gemini energy. This is like maybe you're hopeful that there is love that's going to come your way that's actually worth having, but it's also like maybe you're afraid of that too. It kind of goes hand in hand to me, but the outcome here is Temperance. Again, this is another great card. This is not Libra energy, this is Sagittarius energy, but this is also about balance and harmony, and slow and steady wins the race, and then balancing your emotions or your 3D aspects with your 5D aspects, which is like your physical reality with your spiritual reality. It's honing those things, and that also takes time. This is a very slow and steady wins the race card as well. Like, I am a Sagittarius, and I kind of like hate this card and love this card because it's a very slow healing energy. Now, what else do I have? That's what I have for you when it comes to the tarot. Libra, if this has helped, please smash the like button. It helps my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. If you feel guided, you can book a one-on-one coaching session with me, or you can book a personalized tarot reading, but I'm going to dive into the oracle cards. Right away, you have Pentacles. So some of you have been definitely trying to tap into your witchy abilities, or you maybe have been doing some sort of protection or getting into like charms or spells or things like that. It says protect yourself from negative and evil energies. Pentacles are stars. They have a negative connotation with them typically if you haven't done a lot of research, but it is actually sacred geometry. So if you know anything about that, if you don't know anything about that, you might want to give it a Google. But there's a lot of sacred geometry that is involved in Pentacles. And I was just, what was I? It was like, I think I was just reading about the Merkaba the other day, and that's kind of another 3D orientation of a pentacle. So you might want to Google that, because that's tied to the Jewish, a lot of Jewish tree of life type of stuff, but it's also tied to the Kundalini and things like that. Now, the energy is gaining momentum, so whatever shifts that you're going through, I do feel like it's going to be moving. It's just, again, that slow and steady race. I'm kind of envisioning right now a snowball. Like when you roll a snowball in the snow, it gradually gets bigger and bigger and bigger and builds this momentum, and that's what's happening to you. So maybe you felt like somebody came in and melted you down to this like small little nothingness, and now you're gradually like building yourself up again, because you're building your confidence, you're building your self-worth, you're building your value, you're building this new life. And I feel like it's ending old mindsets because you have the time to go card. So number 45, time to go, means like you're ending cycles and patterns of repeat. And then you have this lovely card from my moon deck. It says, I let go of what is no longer serving me, and I am open to what is. Again, that's about releasing. You have a lot of wisdom here because you've gained a lot of clarity from the situations and the hardships that you've been through. So you've learned the lesson and the blessing and the pain that you've experienced. And the wisdom is also tied to your heart chakra. So just again, make sure you're maintaining an open heart, open mind. That's going to be very important so you don't get cold-hearted, because once you get cold-hearted and you close your heart off, you basically become your own worst enemy. You become like the people who hurt you. And when you do that, you're just perpetuating perpetuating pain and perpetuating sorrow. And that's not why we're here. We're here to grow. We're here to learn. We're here to love. And sometimes it's hard to do when we are being perceived as bad or harsh. Now you have the prayer card. This is kind of, this card is like prayer, manifestations, wishing, imagination. That's kind of how I view it. You know, religious people pray. Spiritual people manifest. People who maybe don't do either of those things wish. You know, like that's kind of what this energy is. So positive thoughts, positive intentions, maybe just having an open, imaginative landscape in your mind's eye about what it is you want to see, where it is you want to go from this place forward can be helpful. You also have the harness card for your third eye. This one says, know your mind and your patterns. If you have an intuitive thought that places you in a negative situation, is this guided by anxiety or alarm? And consider other times that you felt like this. Did you go with your intuition or did you ignore it, and what was the outcome? Learning to trust yourself is important, but establishing those boundaries is going to help you practice discernment as well. And then you have ownership, which I believe, you know, this is like accountability essentially. It says you acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike, and then learn to love them all as lessons. We are all human. We are all perfectly imperfect. A symptom of being human is the song that comes to mind for me, but I do feel like for a lot of you, it's also just acknowledging and forgiving yourself for being in toxic patterns or toxic situations, which typically we find ourselves in patterns of repeat if we've not done the healing work, if we've not done the trauma healing work from childhood wounds that we all carry. So you might be healing mother wounds or father wounds or both. And then you have number 31, influence. I was also thinking like influencer. So if you're an influencer and you're watching this or you want to be an influencer, that could be a significant message or synchronicity. And then it says influence is what moves us, whether that's emotional or emotions, inspirational, physical responses, or visiting spirits. Steady the power of influence by creating a place in your life to contain it. Good fortune comes from a more feminine way of relating, being open and allowing space for new influences. I feel like, again, this is tied to that feminine aspects. You're healing those mother wounds, and it is going to... it's going to be a slow progression, but I feel like it's going to do a lot of heart healing for you and understanding and forgiving yourself. Now, that's what I have for you, Libra. Hopefully this video helped. It was kind of a short and sweet one, but if it did, please smash the like button. It helps my channel grow. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this, and I will see you next time.